On September 2, 1666, the River Thames didn't stop the Great Fire of London. It fed it. It started at 1 a.m., a bakery on Pudding Lane, a spark from an oven that no one extinguished properly. Thomas Ferner, the king's baker, woke to smoke filling his house. He escaped across the rooftops. His maidservant didn't make it. She became one of the first victims. The city was ready to burn. London in 1666 was a tinderbox. 13,000 timber-framed houses packed so tightly together that neighbors could shake hands from their bedroom windows. A summer drought had baked every beam dry. And the wind, a fierce east wind, was already howling. Sound of crackling fire begins softly. Within hours, the fire had consumed enough of the city to be visible from miles away. Samuel Pepys, a naval administrator and diarist, recorded everything. He would become our most important eyewitness to these events. He wrote that pigeons refused to leave their roosts until their wings caught fire. He was so alarmed that he went personally to wake King Charles II at the Palace of Whitehall. The king's response: order the Lord Mayor, Sir Thomas Bloodworth, to pull down houses to create fire breaks. Bloodworth's response: a woman could piss it out. He went back to bed. That decision, that staggering act of inaction, allowed the fire to grow from a neighborhood problem into a national catastrophe. Music intensifies by day 2. The Thames itself looked like it was on fire. Here's why: the riverbanks were lined with warehouses, and not just any warehouses. These stored tallow, oil, coal, timber, and most critically, coal tar and pitch, used to waterproof ships. When the fire reached the riverbank, these substances ignited and poured, burning, directly into the water. Flaming debris rained down onto the boats below. The river glowed orange and red from bank to bank. Thousands of Londoners had fled to the river for safety, loading their belongings onto boats. They watched in horror as the banks they just escaped burned down into the water beside them. Samuel Pepys buried his wine and his Parmesan cheese in his garden to save them. We know this because he wrote it down. Brief dark humor beat in music. The fire consumed everything in its path. St. Paul's Cathedral, the great medieval structure, melted. The lead from its roof poured down Ludgate Hill like a river. Contemporary accounts describe the stones exploding like grenades from the heat. 87 churches, 13,200 houses, 400 streets, gone. Quiet moment. King Charles II finally took direct command on the third day. He and his brother, the Duke of York, rode through the streets on horseback, handing out coins to firefighters, ordering buildings demolished by royal decree. Gunpowder was eventually used to create firebreaks large enough to stop the spread. By September 6th, after 4 days of burning, the fire was out. The official death toll, in the records of the time, just 6 people. Historians today believe the real number was far higher. The poor left no records. And the man whose one sentence of arrogance may have doomed a city, Sir Thomas Bloodworth, was never punished. History, however, remembered exactly what he said. Flame extinguishes. Black screen. Subscribe for more forgotten history.